Good morning to the Honorable Ministers of the Council, members of the media, online viewers, radio listeners via St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 FM and other radio stations. I'm Rolika Roach and welcome to the live Council of Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, January 2nd, 2019. At this time, I invite the Minister of Justice, the Honorable Cornelius De Wever, to address you. Minister De Wever.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Ms. Roach, and a Happy New Year to you, to everyone present. Happy New Year, Deputy Prime Minister. Happy New Year as well. Good morning, St. Martin. I'd like to begin by wishing the entire population of St. Martin all the best in 2019. The saying usually goes, wishing you a prosperous new year. But there can be no prosperity without safety and security. So to all our departments responsible for safeguarding St. Martin, for our residents as well as for our visitors, I say a special thank you for the work you did in 2018 and for the work you are doing and will be doing in 2019. It is a bit unfortunate and irresponsible of some of the newspaper or media outlets to state that I, as Minister of Justice, ordered the shutdown of one of the busiest days of the year, and then to try to cover it with according to reports. I want to make it clear that this was not my order, and the media should reflect this immediately with an apology, or they should provide proof that it was ordered. My question is, and your question should be, who wrote this article, and who's the source or the sources? It is unfortunate that we have to stoop to this level. Next week, I will be launching the Ministry of Justice Facebook page as well as e-newsletter, because I believe it is important that I share the accomplishments of all the departments within our ministry. There are many who work hard and diligently to take care of our inmates, who secure our borders, who guard our coast, and who patrol our streets in blue. We all have our work cut out for us in 2019, and we will stay focused to ensure your safety and share this through our social media avenues. I want to wish everyone good health, and all things will be possible in 2019. I thank you.
Thank you, Minister De Wever, for your opening remarks. At this time, I invite the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport, the Honorable Wycliffe Smith, to address you. Minister Smith.
Thank you very much, Ms. Roach. Greetings to all gathered here this morning. Honorable Colleague Minister of Justice, the Department of Communications, members of the press, those listening and viewing via radio, television, and social media. Good morning, Sualiga. As today, January 2nd, is the first press briefing of the Council of Ministers for 2019, I would like to take this opportunity to wish our residents and visitors of St. Martin a happy, healthy, peaceful, and prosperous New Year. 2018 had its challenges, especially in the aftermath of a devastating hurricane. It was hard for our people, for businesses, and it was hard for our economic pillar, tourism. But we all rolled up our sleeves and worked together, and we are building back stronger and better. I want to thank you, St. Martin, for being resilient and for not giving in or giving up. When I look around the island, there is hope for 2019. I'm sure that we all have made resolutions for 2019, personally as well as professionally. And as Minister of Education, some of the things that will have my immediate attention in 2019 are getting the public schools that were damaged repaired and those facilities back to normal. Also, working with the subsidized school boards in getting schools such as the Sun School and the Marie Laurence Primary School rebuilt. Working with the board of the Phillipsburg Jubilee Library to ensure that a temporary space is found for the library until the old library is either repaired or a new one built. Also, I'd be focusing on securing funding for the lights and repairs of the Raoul Illich Sports Complex so that this facility can also be used at night. And also signing the contract with the Johan Cruyff Foundation to secure the funding to repair the Johan Cruyff facility in Belvedere. We've been having discussions with the foundation, and the final version of the financial and operational agreement was submitted early December. And we're expecting to be able to sign this agreement with the Cruyff Foundation within short. I'd also be focusing on having the Monument Council in place very shortly so that this council can review the damaged monuments and give the necessary advice to VROMI, who has to issue the permits for the repairs and or the reconstruction of these monuments. The review of the current status of the teaching profession as it relates to teachers' salaries and the position of the teaching profession in the community and in the labor market. I'm expecting the committee evaluation of the teaching profession to present its report, and together with the various stakeholders, including the teachers' union, we can work on giving the teachers and the profession their rightful status. With regards to license plates, the announcement of the 2019 license plates caused quite a stir, especially among persons who, due to their religious and personal convictions, do not promote Carnival. The 2019 license plates bear the logo 50 Years of Carnival. One can understand that the government does not wait until year end to order new number plates. So the decision for the design and the purchase of new license plates was not handled by this current government. People look especially at my person as a representative of the St. Martin Christian Party and asked, how could you have allowed this to happen? Again, let me reiterate, the decision to order and design the 2019 license plates was taken before I became a member of government. Now that plates will be available soon, what can be done to accommodate those persons who feel that they would be forced to promote Carnival even though it goes against their conviction? I've discussed this matter with my colleague, the Minister of Justice, who understands the situation and is sensitive to the concerns of those people who, due to their religious or personal convictions, are opposed to driving around with the 2019 license plate as it is. Consequently, the Minister of Justice is exploring possibilities within the law to accommodate persons who do not want to drive around with a license plate that reads 50 Years of Carnival. Let me say here that Carnival is one of the many festive cultural expressions of the people of St. Martin, and as Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport, I definitely would like to see a lot more focus and attention on the cultural aspects of Carnival. For this reason, I've had meetings with the Department of Culture and also with my colleague, the Minister of TIAT, to discuss how we can include our local traditional culture back into Carnival. This would involve the participation of our schools and various cultural groups on the island. As soon as the plans for this are finalized, I will be presenting them to the general public. On Sunday, January 13th, the government, in collaboration with the St. Martin Council of Churches, the St. Martin United Ministerial Foundation, and the Seventh-day Adventist Church, will be holding the 14th Annual National Day of Prayer. This ecumenical service, which is held on the second Sunday of each new year, was decreed in 2005 by Executive Council resolution of the then island territory of St. Martin, and has since become part and parcel of the annual cultural calendar of program and activities of government. The National Day of Prayer offers the opportunity for us as a people to come together and give God thanks for His guidance, His mercy, and protection during the past year, and to seek His guidance, direction, protection, and wisdom during the new year, in this case, 2019. As Minister of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport, I take this opportunity to invite people of all faiths to come together this Sunday, January 13th, to pray, not this Sunday, but January 13th, to pray for our nation. The service will be held in front of the Government Administration Building starting at 4:30 p.m. Thank you for watching and for listening, and I will be available for any questions if you may have. Have a pleasant day.
Thank you, Minister Smith, for your opening remarks. If you've just joined us, you are watching the live Council of Ministers press briefing. We now move on to the question and answer session. Stephen Cerulean of PJD2 Radio, you have the floor.
Ministers, good morning. Happy New Year. My question is for the Minister of Justice. Can you provide a status update as it pertains to repairs to the police station in Phillipsburg and the prison?
Thank you for your question. Due to the holidays, there was a postponement by 1 week, so next week the contract will be signed so the repairs of the police station can begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister DeWeaver. Lyndon Brown of BCN TV, you have the floor.
Good morning to the people of St. Martin. Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to the ministers and DECOM. DECOM for doing a wonderful job. Minister of Justice, Mr. DeWeaver, over the past holidays, there was some gun violence. And recently, in collaboration with the Justice Office and the police station, they was asking for guns, people who have illegal guns, to bring them in without no charges. Do you have anything in plan to have this happen again?
I think it should be an ongoing effort to get unlicensed guns off of the streets and out of the hands of those who may do harm with them. I don't believe that they should be available to any and everyone. So of course, those efforts will continue, and the voluntary basis is always preferred. However, through investigations and stuff, we'll get more guns off the street.
Thank you, Minister. We now move on to the second round of questions. Stephen C., you have the floor.
Minister of Education, in your capacity as Deputy Prime Minister, for some time now, the St. Martin Anti-Poverty Platform has been requesting a meeting with the Council of Ministers. This meeting is yet to take place. Any intention to at least accommodate the St. Martin Anti-Poverty Platform in the near future?
Thank you for your question. Yes, there has been a request from the Anti-Poverty Platform, and it has been discussed in the Council of Ministers. The Council has decided that certain questions would be presented to the platform in anticipation of the meeting that will be arranged with the Council of Ministers.
Thank you, Minister
Thanks.
Smith. Lyndon Brown, you have the floor.
Question to Minister Smith, on the basis of Carnival. For the past years, churches and St. Martin have some controversy with Carnival. You emphasize that you would like to see more culture of St. Martin display in Carnival. What a message you have for these churches to be a part of Carnival and display their culture.
Well, as I said, we at the department and the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports would like to promote the cultural aspect heavily, and I know that churches also do that individually. I know that in my previous church we did promote the cultural aspects of the various members, and I know that other churches do so. So I'm sure that if the cultural aspect is promoted and accentuated in Carnival, that aspect will certainly, I'm sure, have the support of churches and their communities.
Thank you, Minister Smith. We now move on to the third round of questions. Stephen Cerulean, you have the floor.
Mr. De Weaver, parts of the boardwalk following the passing of the hurricanes remains in darkness. From a justice point of view, anything is being done to ensure that the lights are reinstated on the boardwalk?
Thank you. The Council of Ministers had a meeting with GBE before the holidays, and it was heavily emphasized that all lights, including those on the boardwalk as well as those in the Mullet Bay area, that they should all be restored. It was indicated that there was an electrical problem that they were working on and that they would be restored. So in light of that, of course, as Justice, we've always focused on prevention, and having more lights is a way of preventing certain crimes from happening, but higher patrols in that area, as was displayed for the New Year's Eve, is a good example, not only on the boardwalk, but throughout the island, where we had heavy police presence to make sure that everyone stayed safe. I think that is very important for our island. If we're going to promote it and continue to promote it as a tourism destination, that safety and security must be paramount. If not, we cannot have the prosperity that we enjoy or would like to enjoy or continue to enjoy in St. Martin.
Thank you, Minister De Weaver. Lyndon Brown.
To the Minister of Justice. Minister, there's a collaboration the Justice Office, the Inspector of Police, and your office. You read that information, false information went out in the media. Has there been any discussion with these different departments of closing these businesses early?
Inspector Henson is the police spokesperson, and I know that he had a conversation with Mr. Dick, and that it was clearly communicated that there were incidents, and they'd asked the gas stations in particular to cooperate with them and not serve any more alcohol, and also the loud music from cars at these places. The gas stations cooperated, and it went very smooth. Again, we have to focus on prevention because we would not want to have a death or due to drunk driving, someone gets knocked down. So by them being proactive and avoiding some of these situations, I think we're all responsible steps to take.
So, but on that topic, who ordered the close down? The chief inspector? Because you said you want the newspaper to refrain from that statement.
I didn't make the order. I didn't issue any order to anyone to close down anything or any business for that matter, and I want to make that very clear. I'm not sure where they got that from, and that's why I asked the questions. Who is the source, or what, or who are the sources that provided that information? Because it did not come from the police, as far as I know, as far as saying that I said to close down businesses. That was never the case and never the situation.
So
Thank you, Minister De Weaver. We now move on to the final round of questions. Stephen Cerulean, you have the floor.
Minister Smith, in your opening statement, you made mention of repairs being done to schools, you spoke of the library and the collaboration within to ensure that things are back to normal. What you failed to talk about, though, was the finances for the University of St. Martin. In a previous statement, you said that the Council of Ministers was supposed to meet to discuss the finances for USM. We know the financial challenges of the University of St. Martin at this time. What is being done now from your perspective to ensure that the financial challenges of USM is corrected in one way or the other?
Thank you for the question. The matter of the financial situation at the USM has been discussed with USM, has been discussed in the Council of Ministers. The Council of Ministers decided that an incidental subsidy would be granted based on certain conditions. That was signed off before the holidays, and there is an MOU to be signed with the university shortly, in which the way forward as to ensure that the finances of the university will be once and for all dealt with. So at this moment, the matter concerning the finances at the USM, they're really under control because we've had those discussions with the USM. And as I said, the MOU will determine the way forward, the conditions under which we'll be able to resolve the financial situation at the USM.
Approximately, if I may, how much will be made available to the university as a jumpstart?
Approximately additional amount of 90,000 guilders.
Thank you, Minister Smith. Lyndon Brown, you have the final question.
To the Minister of Education, one more time. Minister, in so much, there have been a lot of negative. But St. Martin have proven that we are recovering. 6 ships are in port today. And over the weekend, there was a lot of private jet at the airport. How do you have an analysis and the finances, the taxes that these entities bring to St. Martin?
Could you rephrase that question, please?
There are 6 ships in our port today, and over the weekend there was a lot of private jets. I'm speaking and want you to respond the financial aspect of it. How is benefiting St. Martin?
Well, it goes without saying that the more people that come to the island via ships, via planes, the economy will benefit tremendously from that. And it goes to show that St. Martin is a place where people love to come. It goes to show that people see future in St. Martin, and that's why in the beginning of my press briefing I said there's hope. For 2019, there's a brighter future, and we all need to work together to bring St. Martin to where it was and even take it further so that St. Martin becomes really the metropole of the Caribbean.
Thank you, Minister Smith. Honorable Ministers of the Council, members of the media, radio listeners, and online viewers, this brings us to the end of the live Council of Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, January 2nd, 2019. For rebroadcast, tune in every evening at 7 p.m. on St. Martin Cable TV. For video on demand, log on to the official government's website at www.stmartingov.org. On behalf of the Department of Communication, I would like to wish the general public a happy and prosperous New Year, and do have a pleasant day further.